YouTube found a community, Stray Kids fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens. We are here today to talk about Stray Kids' first album. It's the reissue of their first album, In Life, released through JYP over there in South Korea. Stray Kids are a K-pop group that I came to know about last summer in 2020 through a couple of friends of mine who were really into them. And I've just gone down the rabbit hole with discovering K-pop, and this band in particular. It's been very cool discovering and learning about a music scene that I knew close to nothing about. I've always known about K-pop, but I've never delved into what it's all about. Over here in America, the biggest K-pop group is BTS. Actually, at this point, Blackpink might be more popular than them. But, those two groups are very popular over here now. So it's only a matter of time until Stray Kids comes over here and kind of takes over. But this review is not going to be like an overall history of the band because I know a good amount of details about them, but not everything, and I'm not going to make a video about that just yet, but it's just an album review for the songs on this album, which I think is a really, really solid album and a good introduction to them because there really isn't a bad song on this thing. It opens up with a track called The Tortoise and the Hare, which is a very interesting choice for an opening song because it sounds like nothing on the rest of the album. It's a very experimental art piece, if you will. There's very fast-paced raps, very eerie synth effects, and the drum beat on here sounds like Little Wonder by David Bowie. So if you've heard Little Wonder, that drum sound, that's kind of what this song has on this song. It's an unexpected song to open the album with. I would have never chosen that song to open the record with, but I think it works well because it piques your interest at the start, being like, oh, okay, well, what are we in for here? Before leading into Backdoor, which is the first song I ever heard by them, and one of the most fascinating tracks they've created so far. They've only been a group for a few years, but in that time, they have grown and tightened up their game so well. And this is true for any band. Like when you're in a group together, you learn how to play off each other, and you learn, okay, you can do that thing, you can do that thing, okay, I can do this thing, and you hone that in and get that to be so succinct and so tight. And when you play shows, when you write songs, you pick the best songs to make your albums with. The demo processes, getting feedback from each other. That whole process makes you stronger as a performer, a songwriter, an arranger, a producer. And a song like Backdoor proves how far they've come, and what's going to happen next, who knows, because it's going to be even better. But Backdoor is a fascinating song because it's got this really smooth rolling bass line, these splashy effects, and the song is an instant hook. I mean, the vocal delivery on this thing, everyone takes turns. There's 8 guys in this band, and they all take turns doing their vocal bits. And the distinct vocal deliveries that each guy has, because all their voices sound different, lends itself so perfectly to different parts of the song. So the rap guys will have more of a harder edge part of the song. The more vocal guys will have maybe a sweeter or a lighter part. And they kind of blend those worlds together to create this genre-bending track. It's a fascinating piece of work. The confidence in their delivery is unbelievable. And it's just it's a tangible feeling with how much they're feeling this song. It instantly grabs your attention, and it's a song that will live in your head for a very long time. It's something that just kind of stays with me a lot. It's a true tour de force of what a pop song could be. So that's one of the first tracks I'd very highly recommend. If you've never heard of these guys before and you want to figure out if this is right for you or just to hear something different, Backdoor is a great song. Be Me is the song after this one. It's a lighter pop track, good head bobbing chorus to this one. Well-placed guitar picking. I like the hi-hat shuffles throughout this thing. It's probably done by a computer or a synthesizer, but I like that hi-hat feel. Very upbeat, sprightly vocals to this one, especially the rapping members. The chorus is super catchy. The Be Me, oh. I can't sing for Beans, so sorry about that. Sorry, Stray Kids, if you're watching this. Ani, the next track on here, is absolutely one of my favorite on this album. The sly atmosphere that this track has is incredible. The perfection and the syncopation with the delivery of the raps and the timing against that beat is like mind-boggling how awesome that is. The bright poppy production, the amount of bottom end bass that kind of permeates throughout this track, the weaving of vocals in the chorus, the late night atmosphere, it's a total standout on the album. And it sounds like they had a lot of fun recording it. It just sounds like it would have been a really cool song to be a fly on the wall for. But I really, really love this track. I think it's a really fun song. X is the next song on here. I'm a sucker for a good ballad, and this one does it really well. The guys sing about heartbreak and mistakes and learning. The lead up to the chorus is infectious because it's just got the right perfect amount of excitement to lend itself to a song that's mostly trying to be reflective and a little moody, kind of like understanding like, oh, maybe I screwed up. And that little bit of excitement just lifts it up right in the right places. It creates a bit of a nostalgic feel, a little bit of a melancholic feel, but not in like a woe is me kind of way. It's kind of like a reflective, I've learned something kind of way. The dynamics on this thing really just kind of encapsulate a relationship or maybe the end of one and looking back on things. So for this song in particular, there's barely any English on this one. Just the emotion that comes across. You kind of get an idea of what's happening just from the emotion. And for me, that's the effect of a good song, a good songwriting. When you can just kind of get the idea of something that you might not understand the words to, but the feeling is there. Because we all speak music. Music's a universal language. We all speak music. We Go is the next track on here. This is a cool platform for Changbin and Han to really show off their rapping skills. The speed combined with their timing, you never hear them take a breath, which is unbelievable. But the focus that they have is mesmerizing. The way they lay their craft onto this track is unreal. And Shan coming in for the chorus hook is a nice balance. So you have his vocal delivery kind of singing it, and the other two guys doing the rapping parts. It's a real cool centerpiece to watch these guys perform, and basically how to prove to be a rapper, a really good one at that. The next track, Wow, features Hyunjin, Felix, and Lino. And it's a really infectious, almost seductive type song. It's full of hooks, tight production. The synth effects are really cool. The atmosphere is great on here because you have three distinct voices kind of lending this texture. And I just love the overall feel of this song. Very dancey, very much going to stick in your head as well. My Universe is one of my favorite songs on this album. Seungmin and Ayan are two of my favorite vocalists from this group, and they basically share duties on this one with Changbin. But I love the chords on this song. That chorus vocal just goes to a couple of unexpected places, and I've heard a million songs in my life, so when I hear something I haven't heard before, I'm kind of like, oh, what's that? How did they do that one? It's a total pop love song, but it's super warm and endearing. You can feel the honesty in their voices. For me, it's an album highlight, and I just truly enjoy this song a lot. It's a sweet, endearing song. Some people want to fill the world with silly love songs. What's wrong with that? God's Menu is the next track on here, and this track is an absolute mind-blowing masterpiece because there's so much happening condensed into one song. It's like you took the best parts of a book and smashed them into 2 minutes, and you're like, whoa. The construction of this song is almost mind-boggling. It's a masterclass in dynamics and production. Production-wise, there's parts where it could be super dry, but also very raw. Like Han's verse in the first part of the song has a bit of a raw echo to it, which doesn't happen anywhere else in the song, which is a fascinating production moment for that track. That creepy bass line and that do chorus is so catchy. But it goes from harder, edgier moments to very sweet moments to uplifting, charging, heartbeat racing moments to deep down moments. There's so much crammed into this song that you would think it was 3 or 4 different things rolled into one. It's very hard to make a complex song sound easy. And I mean, the Beatles were a classic example of that. You know, you could take a song like on anything you want from the Beatles and be like, oh, I can play that. And you look at your guitar and you're like, I've never seen this instrument in my life. That's kind of what this song is for me, that there's so much happening here to make everything fit from start to finish into one mind-blowing experience. That's the one song I'd really like for you guys to listen to. If you don't listen to anything else from this album, put God's Menu on just for the experience of listening to this track and how much it changes. It's an insane song. The next track, Easy, is a very cool, upbeat kind of track that almost lets everyone rap, which I think is nice. But that rolling, slinky bass line, the synth effects, the nighttime atmosphere, very sleek kind of track. But the confidence on this one I think is really great. Pacemaker for me has like a 90s-ish, early 90s-ish production, which I think is pretty cool. I love that "Baby on the One" part in the chorus. I think it's super fun. So they have little bits and pieces here and there in this track that really stand out and keep it up in the forefront of songs to stay in your head forever. Airplane, I love the clean guitar picking on this one against that trap drum beat. It's a very unusual combination. And it almost sounds like there's a synthesizer xylophone buried into the mix somewhere, which I think is pretty cool. Add some character to the verses. Seungmin's lead up to the chorus I think is fantastic because of the sweetness in his voice, but that we are part in the choruses is super catchy. I just like the use of empty space on this song, and that's something that a lot of artists are afraid to use because it's like they're not using a part of the song that they could for something else, but empty space is very effective because it lends itself to the song. Another Day is a super warm, reflective, beautiful little song. Just a gentle vocal delivery from the guys. It's an intimate performance from them to show off their softer side, which works really well because you've had a couple of really heavy bangers from 3 or 4 tracks in a row. So to get a softer breather of a moment is nice, and its placement on the album I think is perfect too. Phobia is the next track on here. Right back to that densely layered production technique. Lots of synth on this one, lots of effects and vocals. It's a very heavy song and the amount of tracks that they've used to produce this one, but that the vocal refrain again is great. That oh moment is fantastic. Everyone taking turns, of course. Cool song. Blueprint's one of my favorites on here. This is the next track. I love the acoustic guitar intro. That's super clean, tight production in the verses, but then it changes itself to add more echo and reverb as the song goes along, which I think, again, is just an amazing credit to Three Racha, the three guys who mostly produce and write all the songs. That's Chan, Changbin, and Han. And they basically wrote all the songs, but that production technique is very cool because it changes up something that's meant to stay the same. Verses are usually the same, but if you change the production where there's more echo or less echo, it's almost like a different song. So it's a very cool production technique. But I love the propulsive drums on it, the atmosphere of excitement. The song it's a slice of pop perfection for me, so I really enjoy Blueprint a lot. And the last 2 songs on here, Ta, which is a real dance-heavy track. Very fun group vocals on this one. So I like hearing them all sing at the same time. They're doing that ta ta ta. Very fun. It's just an exciting song that sounds like it must have been great to be there to record that one. And Haven, the last song on here, has a bit of a MGMT vibe. Remember that song Kids? Kind of feels like that song a bit with that do 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 kind of sound. Good closing song though. It's a total head bobber. Excellent reverb on this one. Pretty straightforward pop song, but it accomplishes the job. I mean, it's fun, it's exciting, and joyous, and again, it builds up as it goes. But here's the back cover, which oops, upside down there. That's the song titles. Most of them are actually in English. A couple of them are in Korean. But the packaging on these records from all these K-pop groups are fantastic because you get your money's worth. You get like a box with the CD in it, and then a booklet, tons of pictures, and this has been the case for almost every single K-pop group I've seen yet. And the cool thing about that now is that Target is selling more and more K-pop, so you'll see a lot of it on the shelves there. But I'll show you what my setup looks like here. So they place the CD in an inlet in the box there. And then you get a couple other things. You usually get like trading cards in here as well, but I gave mine to my friend because she's got a good collection. But I do have one card. This has 3 Racha on it, so you got Han, Chan, and Changbin, respectively. And on the back it just says Stray Kids in Life. And this is a postcard, sized picture. But it's got Hyunjin, Chan, IN, and Han on this one as well. And they totally give off early Bowie vibes. Like with the clothes and the hair, it's totally early Bowie. I'm all for it. And this is like a fold out little thing for IN with his cool blue hair. And this is the book. I mean, it's a book, man. You get like a ton of pictures here. And I'll kind of flip through a little bit here. But, just shots of the guys individually. And then group shots as you go deeper into the book, I should say. But just cool shots of them hanging out with their awesome outfits, and then production credits at the end. But yeah, I've been really impressed with Stray Kids. It's been a lot of fun learning about them and discovering more and more of their songs because they have a lot of music, and it's cool to see where they're going to go next and whatever their next project will be. I'm really excited for that because this one has been absolutely fantastic. So that's it. Long review here because there's a lot of songs on this album. But if you've heard this thing, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't heard about it and you do check out some of the songs, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. At least check out God's Menu and Backdoor. If you hear anything on this album, those 2 songs would be the ones I would check out. But this thing's easily 8 out of 10 for me. It's really, really good. The only criticism I would give is I'd probably chop a couple songs off and shorten it a little bit, but you get your money's worth, so you can pick and choose your favorite songs. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's just my one little tiny critique, if there's anything to critique on this thing. I mean, it's a fun little package. So there you go. Stray Kids in Life, 8 out of 10 for me, Giggens here. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.